up guys, this is Tito back with another video on the Redmi K20 Pro, and today in this video I'm going to be showing you the latest SafeShift OS on this device. This is the SafeShift version 2.5 and you can see the name here is Groovil or Groovile, you can spell it like that, and there is the hotfix written because this update was a hotfix because earlier there was some issues I guess, and based on Android 11 of course. But the most important thing here to say is that this is based on OS's vendor, not MIUI vendor. And talking about my personal experience with the SafeShift 11, I would say this is a great ROM. I have been using it for the past 2 to 3 days now and my experience has been good so far. But I do have some complaints over here with the SafeShift OS that the stock camera is not that great. Let me show you. Here, as you are noticing, this is the stock camera that you get. I did not even open it, and this is the old kind of Google camera, so very basic camera that you get, even though this ROM is about 1.6 GB. Here you can see, as you are noticing, this is about 1.6 GB, and of course this ROM does include GApps. If you want to flash this ROM, click on the card right over there for the flashing guide. Talking about the about section, this is how it looks like. We have the SH4 logo up there, and then there is the SafeShift your EE phone over here. You can see it's written right there, and we have the specs of the device right here. And if you tap on Android version here, you will see the SafeShift OS logo in like a big kind of logo over here. We have the Android version as Android 11 of course, as you are noticing. I hope so. As you are noticing, this is Android 11, and in terms of SafeShift OS version, it shows 2.5 REL or release, and we have the SafeShift OS code name, and the security patch over here is latest of April 5th 2021. And if you're noticing, the stock kernel here is the Immensity kernel, and then there is the SE Linux status that is enforcing, and we have the build date that is the 8th April 2021 build. Right now, if I go into the system, there is no system updated as you are noticing, but in the gestures you will find a lot of stuff like the double tap to sleep on the status bar and lock screen. Then we have the brightness control. This is to adjust the brightness just by sliding a finger on the status bar. So this feature is still there and it works flawlessly well and no issues whatsoever. I do use this feature on a daily basis and it does work fine. And swipe to take screenshot is also there, but here we do have the long screenshot option. So yeah, long edit and share and delete options are there. Quickly open camera is there, so you can double press the power button to quickly open camera. You can set any camera over here. I have a lot of cameras, and here I have also installed ANX camera. I'll show you those stuff later on. Let me go back. We have the system navigation gestures. Here the good thing is if you go into the settings on the top, you will find the gesture bar customization. Actually, that is the gesture bar length and the radius customization. So that's the reason why if you are noticing this gesture bar on the bottom, it looks a lot bold and a lot long. So yeah, you can customize the length and the radius of it. And then there is the back gesture kind of stuff. You can customize the left edge, right edge, etc. And also you can customize the dead zone. Let me go back. There is also the 2 and 3 button navigations. And here we have the quick torch, that is long press the power button to toggle torch. And we have the adaptive playback, prevent ringing, and the skip music tracks. That's it in terms of the gestures. Right now, if you go into the front camera settings, there is the camera LED disabling option. Then there is the front camera raise dialog. And here we also have the front camera sound effects. Yes, there is no like the Super Mario sound and stuff. And the Star Wars sounds are also missing, but we get these kind of sounds. And we also have the motor calibration for the front camera. So that's great. And also, as this build includes GApps, the Google keyboard or Gboard is present by default here. Right now, let's talk about the stock launcher. We have the SafeShift launcher as you are noticing by default here. And if you're looking at the recent panel, this is how it looks like. I like the fact that these buttons have been changed a little bit and this looks pretty good. We have the screenshot and clear all options. And if you go over here, we have the icon packs changing option. Then the notification dot options are also there. We have the hidden apps, so you can hide a particular app in your like app drawer over here. So that is great. As you are noticing, you can hide any app, and allow edit option is there. Then if you scroll down, we have the show gradient option, then the show Google app. Home screen rotation also supports, and we have the suggestions disabling option. So in case if you want to disable all the suggestions over here, you can do that. And double tap to sleep gesture is there, swipe down gesture is there. So pretty much a great launcher. And to the left we get the Google's discover page, no issues with that. And here we have the swiping up to get the app drawer. You can search for any particular app over here, and swiping down gets you to the quick settings panel, and the widgets in the home screen is working fine. And the launcher has been super smooth, no issues whatsoever with the performance of the stock launcher. It is very smooth, like buttery smooth experience over here that you're gonna get. And talking about the double tap to sleep and stuff, as you are noticing, double tapping anywhere in the home screen makes the phone sleep. This is how the always on display looks like, and we have this kind of lock screen look over here. This is the stock wallpaper that you get, which I have applied on the lock screen. And here, as you are noticing, the fingerprint scanner speed is great. And from the always on display, if I show you, as you just noticed, the always on display fingerprint scanner is super fast, and even from the lock screen, the fingerprint scanner speed is very reliable, no issues so far. So with night light, let me show you. As you are noticing, unlocked fine. Let me try one more time. So sometimes it's not unlocking with night light from the always on display, I don't know why. But yeah, most of the time it does work fine, no issues with that. And talking about the quick settings panel, this is how it looks like, and over here you can edit and add multiple toggles. As you are noticing, these are the quick toggles that you get, and you can add them over here, like the live display, smart pixel, everything else is there. And we also have the FPS info over here, I'll show you that. But first we have the Android 11 screen recorder. With this you can record the device audio and the microphone audio at the same time, so that's a great feature. And here we also have the heads up disabling option or enabling option. You can enable or disable the always on display from here. And also talking about the FPS counter, this is how it looks like. It arrives on the top left of the screen, and yeah, the FPS toggle works fine, no issues so far with that. But definitely I do miss the reboot toggle and the volume panel toggle over here, that those things are simply missing from here. Now some other missing features, if I talk about them, I would say the DC-dimming feature is nowhere to be found. So that's how it is. This is a OSS vendor ROM, so no DC-dimming feature present over here. But inside sound, as you can see, again there is no Mi Audio DAC. I'll show you everything in the settings, but first let me jump into the customization. And here inside Shapeshifter, we have the power button customization. We have the cards, then the device controls, and enable advanced restart is there. So advanced reboot is also working super fine, no issues with that. And we have the smart home controls from here. Let me go back. We have the navigation stuff, and we have the back gesture animation, invert layout, etc. In the gestures, again, we have all those gestures. I'm not going to show you that again. In the volume panel, we have this kind of volume panels. I have changed it to AOSP expanded. And here you can also change that to compact audio tile. And with the AOSP expanded, this is how the volume panel looks like. Looks cool, I would say, and this does this kind of animation whenever you click on expand, and it works great. And we have the volume steps customization, then the volume cursor and the reorient stuff. And inside interface, we have the quick setting customization. Here we have the battery estimates, vibrate on toggle touch. Then the tint quick setting style over here, that you can change these to OxygenOS accent color or Android 12 kind of look. And column and row number customization is also there. Then we have the themer, and from here you can change the accent color. And here I haven't changed anything, that's why it looks like black. Whenever I apply the dark theme, it goes white. So yeah, this is how it is, and you can change the accent color to whatever you like from here. Then we have the adaptive icon shape, and the system icons, you can change that too from here. There is also these many fonts over here, including the Google Sans and the OnePlus Sans. And from here we have the heads up notification. You can enable or disable your heads up notifications. Less boring heads up, don't touch heads up and stuff is there. Pulse vibration is there for the lock screen, ambient display, and other things over here. You can even customize everything over here. And in the status bar settings, we have the battery style, and from here you can change it to portrait, circle, and text. That's it. No big dotted circle or something. And we have the show percentage option, so percent inside option is there, and the battery bar customization is also there. Let me go back. We have the clock option, so you can enable date, etc., AM, PM, everything else. Network traffic indicator is also there, and you can customize it thoroughly. And we have the status bar items, and from here in the icons, we have the headset, Bluetooth, etc. icons over here. Show data disabled icon is also there. And over here, if you go into the lock screen, we have the native controls. This is for the battery level on bottom, always show time and info, and always on charging, double tap to check phone, ambient music ticker, etc. And from here in the lock screen tuner, we have the shortcuts. Then inside general options, we have the always on display scheduling option. Then we have the status bar and lock icon enabling option in the lock screen, and we have the lock screen charging animation. And here we have the fingerprint vibrations, but let me tell you, there is no always unlock with the fingerprint scanner over here that I do miss on this ROM. And media cover art and the blur level, etc. you can customize. Then we have the FOD customization, and here I gotta say there are a lot more fingerprint scanner icons. As you are noticing plethora of icons that you get. I don't know why it's showing this one is selected, although I have this one selected over here. But yeah, as you are noticing, this icon and these ones over here are pretty new, and some icons do look different over here from other custom ROMs in my opinion. So yeah, we get a lot more fingerprint scanner icon options. We have the fingerprint animation enabling option, and if you do that, we have the Cyberpunk 2077, which I have applied. But there are a lot more customization that you get. As you are noticing, we also have some Realme, then Nokia, then Asus and OnePlus kind of customization for the animations of the fingerprint scanner. Screen of fingerprint scanner is there, then the disable night light and stuff is there, and we have the fingerprint pressed icon. We have all these colors: white, cyan, green, yellow or light yellow kind of option for the FOD. And if you switch to the system, we have the general notifications. Here we have the notification sound if active, horizontal light, show notification count option is there, notification headers and stuff is there. In the MISC settings, we have the smart pixels. Then we have the USB configuration. You can change it to file transfer, so that becomes a lot more convenient. Pocket detection is there. You can disable it if you want to, or you can enable it. And charging animation is also there. Wake up on charge disabling option is also there. Then if I go into the LED settings, we have the battery charging light, so you can enable the notification LED even in do not disturb mode. And in the gaming mode, we have all these gaming mode enabling option. So that was it about the customization over here. Right now, let's jump into the battery settings. This is how it looks like. If you tap here, you get the full battery usage, of course, and thermal profiles is there, and you can set per app over here. Then we have the battery saver. Also, you get the extreme battery saver over here, and adaptive or auto battery is there, and the smart charging is there. And we have the last full charge, the screen on time, and the battery temperature. Yes, we do not get any kind of like the battery charging cycle and stuff, but yeah, I'm fine with it. We have the battery temperature over here. Talking about the battery life, you will get a lot like good enough battery life in my opinion over here. But if you're looking at my screenshots, I have got about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time because I have used the phone heavily. So yeah, for normal usage, I would say it can definitely drive you about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, and 8-watt fast charging is also working fine here. In the display settings, we have the brightness level, then the dark theme, then the night light. Adaptive or auto brightness works flawlessly. Live display option is there, so you can calibrate the colors, the red, green, blue, etc. colors, and even the hue, saturation, intensity and contrast of the screen. You can adjust the display mode over here, so you can enable this outdoor mode. And as you are noticing, this one is really good, that in outdoor mode this just pushes the brightness. And if you put this one to automatic, as you can see, you can switch automatically, I guess. So if you go outdoors, it will just bring your bright screen over here. So yeah, this is a really great feature over here that you can do automatic adjustment. Inside styles and wallpapers, we have like this wallpaper right here. This is the stock wallpaper. Then if you go into the grid option, we have up to 6x6 option. In the clock settings, we have these many lock screen clocks, and you get this fluid option, then the tux, and we also have the S funny one. And we have the IDE, and there is the shape shift kind of clock. I don't know how it looks. Let me actually see. Okay, so this is how the shape shift clock looks. Pretty good, I would say. We also have the screen timeout option up to 30 minutes. Rotation settings is there for 180-degree and stuff, and colors are set to boosted by default. And also we have the USB cutout emulation, so you can customize any kind of cutout over here if you like them. But of course, why would you do that on the K20 Pro? And we have the double tap to wake and the enable blurs and the ambient display. Again, there is no option for the DC dimming. In the sound settings, we have these kind of sound adjustment, and if you scroll down, we have the vibrate for calls, ringtone, vibration pattern. You can change the vibration pattern, of course, and the live caption mode is there, and we have the vibrate on connect, call waiting, etc. And we have the dial pad tone, screen locking sound, charging vibration, etc. And we also have this clear speaker option. If you want to clear your like loudspeaker, you can do that. In the security, things get a lot more interesting because we have the face unlock and also the app locker. So let me show you the app locker first. This is how it looks like. Pretty basic and similar looking. If you have seen app lockers in any other custom ROM, this is how it looks like. We have authenticate only once option. If you want to, you can enable them, or you can lock any app from here, and the app lock works amazingly well. And I would say this is an amazing feature for this custom ROM, that we get app lock, and it is really stable. It does not show you those kind of fingerprint scanner over here when you don't need them, and whenever you're opening a lock tab only, that's when it is showing the fingerprint icon. As you're noticing, it goes away once I tap like outside, and here if I open any other app, it does not show me that icon over here again. So yeah, this is great, and the app lock, as you are noticing, works flawlessly, no issues whatsoever with the app lock here. Right now it's time that I set up the face unlock. So this is how the interface looks like. You just click on setup and just tap next, and it opens your front camera, and you look at your front camera, and almost done. So right now, if I double tap over here and double tap to wake, and if I swipe up, only then it opens the front camera. This is very convenient. It does not open the front camera even if you like double tap accidentally on the phone. So that is great. You have to actually swipe up to use the face unlock. This is a great feature in my opinion. Now talking about the camera stuff, yes, I have installed Magisk over here to install the ANX camera. And if you're noticing, with this ANX camera, everything is working flawlessly. And even for videos and stuff, as you're noticing, you can switch between lenses. No issues so far. I have also installed the Google cameras and stuff, and 4K 60fps video is working fine. If you want to install this ANX camera version 185R with Magisk on your device, you can click on the card right there or check description for the guide. Also the front camera and stuff, everything is working with the ANX camera, as you are noticing. So overall, I would say you will face no issues with the camera here if you install ANX camera. Here safety net passes right out of the box, so that's a really huge pro for you, because banking apps like Google Pay or even SBI card is working fine. Again, if you want to like have safety net even after flashing Magisk, you can check out the video right there of the flashing guide ANX camera. I did explain everything about like getting safety net working with Magisk. So yeah, you can get safety net working over here without any issues. Even right out of the box, safety net works fine. The sound output via the headphone jack is great. No issues so far. I would say the sound quality is amazing over here, even though it does not come with the Mi Audio Direct. Talking about the stock dialer, this is how it looks like, and it does not have any call recording option. Simple Google dialer that you get, and we do have these loudspeaker options and stuff, and even video calling option is there, but I'm not really sure if that works. But normal VoLTE calling or VoWiFi both are working fine here. And talking about the performance, I would say you get amazing performance over here while daily driving on this ROM, and gaming performance should be great too over here, no issues with that. Talking about the benchmarks, here are the Android Geekbench score, and you can see the performance over here is amazing through that benchmark scores. Talking about Google Assistant, yes, the Google Assistant is working fine, but it is not the newer Google Assistant. As you're noticing, this is the old kind of Google Assistant, I guess. But if you say, hey Google, as you're noticing, the voice trigger works super fine, no issues with that. So in my personal opinion, ShapeShift is a really great ROM, and you can definitely flash it on your Redmi K20 Pro. Everything works flawlessly well. The only downside I would say is the stock camera here that you get is the old kind of Google camera. I don't like that at all. So yeah, if you are someone who can install ANX camera separately, you will get a really amazing experience with this ROM, in my personal opinion. So let me know in the comments what do you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share this video with your friends if you feel like. This is Tito from KTN Tech signing off for today, and I'll be catching you guys in the next one. Until then, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. Bye bye now.